If you are watching this video, then you are choosing to do the beginning level grid drawing. We're gonna start with our directions. Use the grid technique to copy this image. Use a 1-inch grid to draw the image accurately. Draw your grid marks on the outer edges of both this paper and your blank paper. Use your ruler for the straight edges. So I have my ruler, I have my pencil, I have my image, and on the side I have my blank paper. The first thing I'm gonna do is create a 1-inch grid all along the edges of my paper. I'm gonna start by using the outer edge of my ruler. I am not gonna use the inside edge of the ruler. Whenever I'm going on my ruler, I'm marking every inch. These long lines right here behind the numbers are my inch marks. So I'm gonna line up my ruler in the corner. I'm lining up my top edge first. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of room so I can draw my lines. Draw a line at every inch. Make sure you're standing over it so that you're marking in the correct spot. Okay. I'm gonna go straight down and I'm gonna line my ruler up with the bottom of the paper and do the same thing. Mark every inch. Okay, now I'm gonna turn my ruler. I'm gonna line up the left side of my ruler with the left side of my paper. This paper is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So you're gonna notice that we have a 1/2 inch up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm gonna put an X right here because I want my 1/2 inch to be at the top when I measure again on the right side. I'm gonna take my ruler, I'm gonna slide it down, left edge of the ruler to the right side of the paper. Mark every inch and make sure your 1/2 inch mark is gonna be up here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have all of my marks ready. Now I'm gonna trace a line to the opposite side to connect both marks. Turn your ruler and do the same thing from top to bottom. Okay, now I'm taking a step back and I'm looking at my grid. I'm looking to see if anything looks off. To me, this grid looks really good. If you want to check, you could always take your ruler and measure again just to make sure your boxes are all 1 by 1 inch. Remember, this paper is 8.5 by 11, so it should be 11 squares long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it should be 8.5 tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1/2. Looks good. So right now I'm done with this paper. I'm gonna set this aside. I need to pull my new paper, and I'm gonna do the exact same measurements I did before, 8.5 by 11. Take your ruler, top edge of the ruler to the top edge of the paper, line it up, mark every inch. Slide it down, line it up, mark every inch on the bottom. If your paper or ruler move, make sure that you readjust so that everything's lined up again. Turn your ruler, left side of the ruler to the left side of the paper. Mark every inch. Make sure you put the 1/2 inch on the top. Slide your ruler, left side of the ruler with the right side of the paper. Make sure you put your 1/2 inch at the top. Again, draw a line to connect all of your lines on the opposite side. Turn your ruler. Remember, our 1/2 inch is going to be on the top. Once again, take a step back, look at your grid, double check, look to see if it looks off anywhere. I made a little mistake right here, so I'm gonna go back in, erase that, take my ruler, and just fix that, just to avoid any mistakes later on. We're looking good. So now I'm gonna get us started, and we're just gonna do the copy of the V, and I'm using my grid. So what I can do is I can go back and I can label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now I'm looking at my rows going down. And I can say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So now I have A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, and so on. And if I'm here, I'm in A2, A3, B2, B3. I'm gonna look at all the boxes that this V is inside of, and I'm gonna copy those onto this drawing. So same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue to label it exactly the same. Okay. Using my grid, I'm gonna look at the first box. This box right here looks like a good spot to start. So I'm gonna pay very close attention to where these lines go and where the lines of the V match up with the lines of my grid. I'm gonna start in my square C2. C2. I'm doing this very lightly because I'm gonna come back and use my ruler. And then I'm gonna go down to D2. And then it looks like there's a little bit in D3. There's a V shape in E3. There's another little bit in E2. And the bottom is going to be in F2 and 3. There's a little tiny bit in F3. And then it looks like it's gonna go straight up from F3 through F4. So there's a little bit in F4, and it's gonna go all the way from F4 to E4 to D4, and a little tiny bit into C4. C4. Put a little dot right there, and it's gonna be a straight line all the way down. C4 again. Put a dot right there, and it's gonna go straight down. And then I have this long straight line, so what I can do is I can draw a line from here, see where my V ends. It looks like my V ends in C11. So I'm gonna go all the way to sorry, that's not C11, that's C10. Double checking, making sure I don't make that mistake. Double check, C10, C10. It looks like it ends about right there. And then I'm gonna take my ruler and connect those lines. And then I'm gonna come back with my ruler and I'm gonna fix up those lines I drew before. Okay, and then I'm going to continue to move on and do the A, the N, the S, and even the trademark logo. But right now I'm going to stop it right there. And if you have any questions, just let me know.